Welcome to Dusty Auspex.
Thank you once again.
For joining us this week for another lovely show. This is Rory Tracy.
Hi.
And my name is Daryl Hewen.
Daryl.
Yeah, nope. Dan Hewen.
Daryl.
Sometimes I forget. Anyway, we got a great show for you guys. Sorry we started a little bit late. We were trying to work out some technical stuff to do an interview with the dudes from Brandon who are running the Warhammer Amateur Tournament. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get them in for the Skype interview, but we're going to get their sort of pertinent details that they wanted to share with you guys and then share them with you guys.
It's a bummer. We were going to talk.
This is going to be really good.
You guys don't know what you're missing out on. You were going to be blown away.
Yeah, both of them had painted their faces up real nice. They had like one of them had the maze from Westworld on his face, and another guy was doing more of like a checker box thing, and it was going to be beautiful.
They were dresses. They were pretty.
They did not wear dresses.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we've had a kind of an interesting week. 40K wise, there's been some cool rumors that have come out.
It's been incredible. The mill is spinning.
That's right. The mill is churning it out. If I were a seed of wheat in a mill, I'd be getting crushed in seconds right now.
It's cereal.
Yeah.
I'm putting you in my bowl with
We're
milk.
talking 8th edition rumors.
I mean, like big 8th edition rumors.
Count it up. 4 plus 4 edition.
8. Sunday.
8th edition.
Sunday.
That's right. Wake the hell up. 8th edition.
All right. Well, I mean, like, okay. Let's be honest, though. It's a rumor.
That's correct.
We're
yes.
not 100% on that. Like, we're pretty excited about it, but we're not.
They were saying basically we could expect an 8th edition sometime in the summer next year, like a June, July. We were talking about it earlier with our group today, and May came up. So we're thinking it's going to be spring, summer next year some point. The other rumor that goes hand in hand with that is how it's going to look, which is they said it might be kind of like a half Sigmar style marriage of 40K rules.
A grimdark Sigmar baby.
Yeah, which like that opens a real can of worms on stuff because which part really? Like Sigmar is so different from Warhammer Fantasy, and there's so many 40K books, like another guy in our group had said, that would be immediately obsolete if you took certain elements that were similar to Sigmar. So what part of it is going to be?
If they're gonna do that much of a change, it would have to be an instantaneous, complete overhaul with books for everything.
There'd have to be like erratas for every single codex. Actually, do you remember when Hull Points came out and the back of the 5th ed rulebook had? Maybe it was the 6th rulebook.
I don't think
had all the Hull Points.
No, I do. I know what you're talking about. I mean that kind of crossover, but I mean this would be such a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and to be honest, I do look forward to their data cards for every unit kind of deal. I don't know who brought that up, if that's if I'm remembering that
the worst thing in the world.
But how great would that be if you just had this big rule book
thing?
Yeah, man, you got your big rule book. You just buy like a deck of data cards.
Quite frankly, if you think about it, we could all just make our own data cards. Like, there's nothing holding us back from doing it.
Lawyers.
Well,
they'll sue you.
Only if you're going to sell them.
No, they'll come to your house and they'll say, "Hey, look, buddy, don't make this game your own.
Yeah, don't you dare."
You didn't buy that.
Don't you dare try and be original with this.
No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, it would be a huge thing. To be honest, though, there are certain armies that, 2 of which, at least that I can think of, that you play, that would benefit hugely from a giant overhaul. I mean, like we talked about before, newer armies seem to get this huge amount of attention, which of course, right? I mean, it's a new product.
Well, they want it to sell. Also, they want people to like it. I mean, it's not all just... Well, at the end of the day, it is. It's a publicly traded company, is it not? So, in reality, they want to make money for the shareholders. So they put out these products. They've got to be good. You can't just put out a book and have it suck. It doesn't make any sense.
No, of course not.
But the thing that has frustrated a lot of players is that the leap in sort of how good the books that come out have been tend to really...
if you buy a brand new army, you're pretty guaranteed to have fun with it.
And you can be competitive, most likely.
Which, when you say it the way that I said it, that actually isn't a bad thing.
Like, if you look at the Orc book, which is the one that I griped about the most, solely because it was the first book to come out in 7th edition, or one of them, and it's so underpowered compared to the things that are coming out now. So I have hope for the future. If 8th edition comes out and a bunch of new books come out, I have hope that they're going to sort of lift these older armies out of their misery, because it's been super obvious for so long that people have been upset about that. And Polly in the chat saying, you know, have you seen the Nid Codex? They need help too, quite frankly.
Yeah,
And,
the thing is, too, certain armies have received a boost, right? I mean, Chaos has been getting a weird amount of love. Maybe not the love that a lot of Chaos players would like it to get, but the fact of the matter is I've been able to continue to play my Khorne army. Consistent Eldar players. You know, if it looks like there's a hint of strength fart AP nothing coming towards Eldar, they get like a nice little supplement.
That's how you could describe the Orc book in general right now, is strength fart AP nothing.
It is fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd imagine Orcs fart a lot. I've always kind of thought of them that way.
Strength fart is very fluffy for Orcs. Actually, I believe the Kill Crusher has a Apocalypse Flame template. What's that called? The Hellstorm?
Hellstorm.
Hellstorm template that is strength 2 AP nothing. I think that's as close as it gets strength fart AP
You're
nothing.
being farted on by a giant mechanized green dude.
Yeah, basically. Driving a big ass tank.
I mean, it has the potential to kill you.
Hey, you're thinking of a Stompa.
No.
The big mechanized green dude?
Well, I don't know. What did you say? Kill Crusher, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a tank. Oh, I think Kill a Can. Yeah, there we go. I was halfway there.
Yeah. No, Kill a Can. If it had a Hellstorm template, I'd play like 100 of them.
Yeah, no, in the 10 minutes it took us to start, Dan and I played a mean game of beer pong. I'm loaded. No. I'm just kidding. What? I'm just kidding.
So, also coming along with the 8th edition rule set update, as they say, is the rumor of Plastic Sisters.
This is a great rumor.
Battle. And you know what? They even said that it would be in the starter kit. Now, again, these are rumors. If that's true, though, that's a huge boost for Sisters, because if you've ever played 40k for any length of time, you know that whatever the starter kit is usually gets saturated like crazy out there. You know, because parents buy them for kids. If they have 2 kids, they're like, hey, who's perfect? It's got, 2 sides. Bloody bloody blah. You know, it used to be Space Marines and Dark Eldar and 3rd
You can justify the value to your mom.
Yeah.
And make her buy it for you for
Space
Christmas.
Marines and Orcs for 5th. You know, like, what is it right now? What's the box set right now? Scott, what's the starter box?
It's not Dark Vengeance anymore. It's the Harlequins one, right?
It used to be Dark Vengeance.
Death Mask. Yeah.
It used to be the Cultists and the Hellbrood.
Yeah, no,
when the Hellbrood came out, everyone was like, "This is wicked." And we all found out that all of them look like this.
I have it. It's like halfway painted. It's just waiting for some love. No, but I mean, if we're gonna talk about armies that deserve to be rebooted, more than Orcs, Sisters deserve it. I mean,
yeah, I think so.
Short of bringing squats back, which something
they said they will not do.
Yeah, they promised that they will not do.
And we got the first hints of this when the Magnus release happened, when they were showing off the Magnus model, and they were like, "Ooh, Plastic Sisters, woo!" And no one really believed it because it's been said for so many years. I mean, they were even saying it. Like in 3rd edition, I remember looking at Sisters models. I bought a Canonist, and I said, "Where's like their tactical squad?" And they explained you had to just buy them 2 at a time in blisters. That sucked, you know.
Yeah, that's a lot of pewter to carry home. It's like Johnny Cash building a car one piece at a time.
It's granted, like what if you drop the whole thing? It's not like plastic. It's not just going to stick together. It's also going to chip. You know, that's an army that takes a lot of work to keep in good condition.
Pewter models were not a child's friend. Like, how many, 12, 13-year-old kids who played that game just didn't get it.
When I was a kid, I had a pewter Great Unclean one, whose arm that, is supposed to go behind his head, always fell off.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Because you don't understand that there might be some sort of manipulation you have to do to that model to get it to work right. You just goo it with blue. You gooey goo it.
You do it with glue.
You gooey goo it, and then you hope why is this falling apart? I gooeyed it.
Oh, what's even worse was the original pewter Thirster. I mean, you've been through that. The Lord of Change.
Yeah,
most of those greater demons in pewter were not good, except the Keeper's Secrets really didn't have that much going on. You just had like extra arms and some spiky shit.
Well, that was the thing, but there would only be like 2 or 3 pieces that you actually had to glue together. And the Bloodthirster was bad because it had the whip and the axe, and the wings were the worst thing though. And they had these stupid little notches in them that were supposed to fit inside. They didn't fit though. It was just like a
It's just an
huge.
ancient mold that's been pumping out models
You know,
for how long?
Your best bet would have just been 2 flat surfaces instead of like, no, we're gonna give you a square peg and a round hole.
Yeah.
You know, do your best. I don't know. But to be honest though, I just finished building one of the brand new Bloodthirsters.
Yeah.
And I'm halfway through, or more than
That's
halfway.
a
I'm like,
classic one.
yeah, and I'm like 75% through the other one. And why on earth you would decide to have this giant, grandiose model, even though it doesn't weigh that much?
Mhm.
I mean, the wingspan on the thing is, a little bit more than the height of the whole thing, which is already like, I don't know,
Right.
6 inches or something, right? And then you gotta, it's like, here, rest it on my pinky, please. Like do your best to glue it onto that.
Yeah.
And then move it around. Like, I spent probably 5 or 6 minutes just looking at it and being like, where do I want to pick this thing up from constantly? Before I paint it, before anything else, because I know I'm going to finish that paint job eventually.
You also don't want to put too much stuff on the base to make it too heavy, because then you have the two weights working against each other.
Well, that's the thing, and I've got that kind of that demon world motif going on where I've got
You use
hunks.
cork, right?
Well,
Cork is a great material for that.
cork is great to glue onto the base. However, if you've got a heavy model that you now want to glue on top of that cork,
Oh no,
that's a
no,
terrible.
no,
So I mean, it was either between like cutting a hole in the cork and then losing a bit of the detail on this. I didn't go with the huge like flame pyre thing. I went up with the smaller one. I mean, the model is still giant. There's not like it's not really like a tactical advantage to bring him down 2 inches.
Yeah,
Like his
no.
head is, unless there's like a giant wall or a huge building, you're gonna,
Right.
I gotta fly him into.
Well, the wings are massive. Then again, you can't really target something through wings, can you?
No wings and.
Even if they're goddamn gigantic.
Well, I mean, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna shoot some holes in his wings. I mean, I guess maybe he
I
couldn't
guess, yeah.
fly anymore, but I don't know.
Look, I
Either
had
way.
wings and they got shot and they were like mostly skin like those ones. Ugh.
Yeah, no, it's a dermatological nightmare, Dan.
That's
A
correct.
dermatological nightmare. Now that we're talking about old models, now that we're talking about old models, back,
Yeah, girl.
we don't even write this stuff. It just happens.
No, it just comes out that way.
So we're talking about the old stuff and the success. I'm assuming it was a success of the made-to-order Katie and stuff.
Yeah.
Why are you smiling? You
I
laughing
was
at
like
me?
having such a good time after that.
Oh,
that scratch that I did.
I'm sick of you. Anyway, GW went really hard in the paint on promoting old stuff. I'm assuming, like we said before, we assume there's some giant vault in a basement somewhere
Yeah.
where some little malnourished man, some British man guards these molds that they've been slated for destruction since 2000, and he just refuses to let them die because he had to build them in his house and it killed his family or something. But they finally appeased this guy one mold at a time.
Yeah.
Cornelius, whatever his name is.
Cornelius Q. Mold.
You shan't break my molds! I don't know. Either way, I went a little off topic there. Katie
Yeah.
and Shock Troops or whatever the hell it was, they were selling the
Made to order. GW made to order, the old catalog pieces that they're breaking out for people to buy online again.
yeah.
Mostly pewter models because of the way they were originally designed. So they did a big wave of Imperial Guard stuff, and they just announced that there's going to be some Chaos stuff. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty dang limited.
Well, okay, let's...
It's like Ingenuity Gap says, basically it's Demonettes of Slanesh, it's the Riders, like the mounted Demonettes, and then the Chaos Lord, Slanesh Lord. I think that might be
There's
it.
a Corn Lord with the axe. Finally...
Oh no, it's Sorcerer,
Yeah, the
Corn
sword
Lord,
and the Corn Lord.
Slanesh Lord.
The funny thing is, too, it's the Corn Lord I have.
Yeah.
It's not even like a weird different one. It's like I already have this guy. I mean, but to be honest, though, if they are casting pewter molds, this is like a totally niche thing. I mean, obviously it did well enough for them to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, maybe if it's not something you want this time, hopefully enough other people are indulging in,
Yeah.
spending their money on it so that hopefully in the next kind of roulette.
I
can
really
get
like. There's a
something.
lot of nice classic stuff I would really like to see them bring back, but their plastic game is so strong right now. it makes sense that they're not doing all this pewter stuff at once.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe they're just clearing out all their raw pewter. Like maybe, because they have a good CEO, maybe he's just saying, we're sitting on all this pewter, we can probably move it out of the warehouse by making, you know, some old models.
What did we used to do with this stuff? What did we used to do? Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, but I'm fine with that, man. It's an added little bonus. If you have the models, well, I mean, good for you. If you don't, it's an opportunity to grab some OOP stuff that'll still have probably the 93 stamp on the little stand, right?
It'll probably be in good shape too. Frankly, the molds, you know, I sincerely doubt they're so worn out that you're going to get, you know, like the thin your paints Space Marine.
No, I mean, I don't think GW would put out something that was subpar without,
It's
I mean,
just
at
like
the very least telling you.
Space Marines attack!
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's, I know how much I like the OOP stuff.
Yeah.
And as somebody maybe just getting into the hobby who looks at something and goes, oh, where can I get that? And, you know, the gates of heaven swing open and all of a sudden you can get...
Big old diarrhea full of pewter models.
I like how your
Right
version
on
of
the
heaven
head.
is the gates swing open and diarrhea of pewter.
Yeah, it's like heaven has
Pewteria.
diarrhea. But the diarrhea is made out of
Metal.
rare, old, out-of-print pewter models.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that, quite frankly.
I don't think it's a bad move either way, unless it's, you know, a little publicity stunt or just a surplus of worthless metal that they can make into something.
Well, you know, the only reason I brought up
expensive.
the maybe they have pewter sitting around thing is because, you know, not exactly the same thing by any stretch, but at my work, like we work at restaurants, the restaurants sometimes will ask us if we can print up different drink menus that just, you know, have bottles that have half the amount of liquid in them. They've been sitting there for a year. You know what I mean? Like it's still fine, but no one knows they can have it. And there's no reason to just let it sit there when you can make money off it, right? So
How dare you try to relate this podcast to your own life? how dare you try to make this about you? They don't care about that. They don't want to learn what your daily job is. Don't you ever do that on here again.
Oh, God.
I'm furious. I'm not going to make a
well,
statement
yeah, I'm
about
not
it.
surprised you're furious because as we revealed a couple episodes ago, you're also quite racist. So,
Oh,
you know
no,
what?
listen.
You know what?
This
that
is
goes-
not...
That goes hand in hand.
The climate
You know
is
what I mean?
far too hot for that kind
It's
of...
warm in here right now.
No, I don't mean physically. It was
No,
a
I
metaphor.
mean physically. It's very warm right now. We're getting a good sweat on.
Try to
here,
do
right?
something nice for somebody one time. I don't know where I'm going with that. But I mean, what are you doing hobby-wise right now?
Oh, I don't know. Just trying to make sure that you don't run into minorities when we're out in public.
Oh, my
So, wait, we're not quite done our news session, I don't think. Let me just double check my notes.
No,
I
we can't
thought
be.
there was one more thing to talk about. Oh, yes, the experimental data sheets that are becoming available in the GW online store.
Let's talk about that, Dan. Let's let you talk about that.
I just wanted to bring them up. It's actual news. These are cool. You know, the design team's actually giving you the ability to choose if you want to try out certain rules for things. And they print them up. It says for house rule use only, so you can't just show up to, for example, the tournament in Brandon and roll in there with some of this BS. But some of it looks cool. I think it'd be neat if you had a fairly outgoing gaming group. They might be down to try that kind of thing, so it's up to you.
I'm waiting for them to come out with the Braille version. I only read in Braille.
Yeah.
Not because I'm blind. I just like to challenge myself.
So, getting into what you were saying, the hobby thing, we're both kind of getting ready to go play in the tournament in Brandon, the Warhammer Amateur Tournament.
Yeah.
So, the gist of the tournament is that anyone can play in it, but you know it's a tournament that is friendly to people who are just kind of getting into it. It's not meant to be one of those things where you show up and you play against 5 Riptide Wings in a row.
I am bringing 5 Riptide Wings.
So it's a 1,500 point tournament. I'm going to try something different. I have been playing and play testing Dark Eldar for months, and I'm going to bring out my Blood Angels. Came up with a 1,500 point list. I'm pretty excited. I really like a couple of the things out of the Angel's Blade book. Unfortunately, none of them are formations. One of them, just the Death Company Chaplain, and then the Relic Crozius that allows Death Company Marines to reroll their Feel No Pains on 1s, and it's also an AP2 Crozius, and I think you get +2 strength. It might just be +1.
I mean, like, you may not get any formations, but you're going balls deep in Shit Creek with this new...
Yeah, like, this is a
booklet.
cool list. Like, it's 15 Death Company Marines, 2 with Power Fists only. Actually, I think I just bumped it down to 14.
How many attacks per are they getting on the charge?
Oh yeah, this is cool. So, because I'm playing the Death Company Chaplain, who gives +1 attack to all Death Company within 12 inches of him, also I'm playing a Sanguinary Guard unit, which have the chapter banners, so they give everyone within 12 inches +1 attack as well. So you have guys that on the charge are getting base 5 attacks, that are now getting +1 for the Death Company Chaplain, and then another 1 for the chapter banner. So the 2 guys that don't have Power Fists, exclude that. That means you have 12 Marines that are getting 7 attacks each on the charge. Also, on the charge, because of Liturgies of Blood and Zealot, the whole squad is rerolling to hit and wound.
So that's 84 hits times 2.
Well, I guess I don't know if it's technically times 2 because...
Well, you're rerolling. So
yeah.
okay, it's not times 2, but I mean, well, you would in theory,
Yeah.
if you missed every single one, you would get a second attempt. So not times 2.
Exactly. Yeah, and
But,
so you're almost...
plus Power Fist.
You're probably going to end up having... Yeah, you're also getting 6 apiece, so 12 Power Fist attacks out of 2 guys.
6 apiece.
Or no. Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
So there's just minus the double hand bonus.
Yeah.
That's mean.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're...
So that's all. They all have jump packs. They're rolling as a crew. The Sanguinary Guard roll behind them. The Chaplain's part of that too, of course. And then I'm also playing 2 Furiosos. They're exactly the same. They have frag cannons and heavy flamers.
Yeah.
So they're basically drop potting in, torching stuff, and then, hopefully surviving a round of shooting to get in there. And then also, with that 2 TAC Marine squads of 5, they have no special weapons. They're literally there because I have to have them.
They're the attacks, right?
And then one Derrideo Dreadnought. It's got the Armored Ceramite so that Melta stuff can't just drop in or deep strike and totally F it up.
Man, do I ever miss the Black Templar Lance nerf?
Yeah, man.
That was something
that was great.
cool.
Although that's for 20 points. That's what I gave to this Dreadnought. And then it's also got the double special autocannons and the Helios or whatever missile launcher on the top.
Helios!
Also has twin-linked heavy bolters. It's a real iron stud, if you know what I mean.
It
And
sounds
to
like
the Dreadnought barn.
It
Look
sounds,
out, Lady Dreadnoughts.
Sounds to me like you're really embracing this like new friendly list.
Honestly, I'm excited about it just to try out the Death Company thing. A couple well-placed pie plates, and I'm totally done. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, yeah, that's
like,
true.
they're only toughness 4, right?
That's true.
So I don't get to feel no pain off that, and they're a 3-up save.
I really hope there's like an 8-year-old kid just playing the shit out of Tau.
Oh,
who just firing lines you.
Just smoke me.
No, you know what though, your list does kind of freak me out a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think I looked at it. You had it in a box. It looks nice.
Yep, it's ready to go. I'm borrowing a drop pod from Sid because I only have 1 at this point in time. So I'll have everything Blood Angel, and then just 1 Dark Angels drop pod, which we can just say is on the Lend-Lease program from the Imperium.
Yeah. I got 3. If you build them all, you can borrow 1 and then strip the paint after and then paint it for my army.
Well, I appreciate that. You know what we should do is we should ask Sid to borrow his entire army, and then we should give him like a early Christmas gift and just strip it and repaint it all.
Hey Sid, can I see your
Should I borrow this for the weekend?
Artisan
Hey,
craft.
Congratulations, buddy.
Hey, look, I put a happy face on it because we're friends.
Hey Sid, in a matter of hours I washed away almost a year worth of hours of work that you put in these.
Were you proud of that? I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Oh, I thought you weren't happy with it.
I got the impression that you were tired of the plaques.
This is a big joke for people who don't know. Sid Sector, excellent painter, part of our gaming group, has won lots of best painted prizes. I took a picture of him this year at Twin Eagles just the second he found out he didn't win best painted.
It's
And that
probably
picture-
my fault though.
I
This is the
love
only
that
time he's
picture,
ever had
yeah.
to be.
Well, it's a group
share it
story,
with
yeah.
me,
So he had to, maybe the name of your team was accurate in the end, even though you guys did pretty good. What was the name of your team again?
Rory, you're a disappointment.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Before I forget to, before we jump into my mystery list as of right now, I wanted to mention too that the plasma reactor.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh
think
yes,
we were gonna talk
Scott.
about
What's
that.
the name of that thing again? It's a kind of a weird name.
Damned if I know.
Oh,
Can't
Scott,
pronounce that.
you're the idea man.
It's like the hemogate. Hemoglobin. Let me just look this up here.
Either way, it is a.
Somebody in
new,
the chat can tell us.
Yeah,
I'm not looking it up.
one of you book.
I'm not looking it up.
Hey, book nerd, look up a word for me.
Book nerd.
Yeah, look it up on your fancy little bits. Either way, you put it down.
Piece of terrain. I think it's $40 to buy, or $50 maybe.
Do you mean dollars or points?
Dollars.
Like the model itself? Because
Amatrope plasma reactor.
it's super cheap.
Oh.
It's super cheap. I just found out about this today. I just got back into school, so I've kind of been out of the loop a little bit.
I think they're 40 points each, $50 to buy, something like that. But they increase plasma shots.
The pie plate
template
size.
sizes. Yeah.
They also, though, force it gets hot on a 2.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
Which
So-
in my case doubles the chance that I'm going to get it because I will overheat pretty much every time I have to
Yeah.
roll for it. Not so fun for
Well,
me.
that's intense though, because we were talking about the implications of that on our chat. Like our group has a pretty active Facebook thread going at all times, and for the most part, you know, people are thinking about things like Devastator squads, where
Yeah.
you have like 4 large blast templates going out.
You could cover, I mean, it not for every army,
No.
but for your horde armies, for somebody planning on, I mean, like, I'll be honest, my dog squads aren't super happy about that.
No, but you're not insta-killed by plasma.
No.
'Cause Your toughness 4. And, I mean, the area stuff sucks, obviously. But you
Yeah.
usually spread your shit out pretty good, so...
High AP though, right? I mean, we're talking about...
Yeah, that doesn't matter for dogs, right?
No, I know, but I'm saying for you know, your Imperial units and stuff,
Yeah.
it's spells rather bad news. I mean, Guard are pretty much falling like, you know, paper cutouts regardless. But
Also,
this
if you
is
think
not
about it,
good.
like if you're going up against the
Seas, they're
what's
called?
the, is it a like
It's-
a demi company or what do you call it with the
The
Dark
Kyrian.
Angel list where you get the free transports?
A
That's-
lion something or other?
It's their Decurion, right? I mean, it's whatever their
Yeah, like
their-
it's a bunch of low AV vehicles and troops.
you're dropping
all over the board.
You're dropping pie plates on Rhino chassis.
Imagine how you could clear things out with 4 Devastator Marines with plasma cannons firing large blast templates
I
just
mean-
into the fray of that.
It's not super meta, but if you've got a buddy who's just crushing you with an annoying list, it's a good, weird counter to have in your back pocket, you know, if you got a game every now and again. The only problem with it is, I mean, you're looking at 24-inch range on a plasma cannon anyway, right? So you got to be within like 3 inches of the reactor itself to get that benefit. So you're controlling a square,
Right.
provided that's like, you know, placed as far forward in the middle as you can, and maybe next to a shield, you know, like that. Okay, then it starts
Well,
becoming.
As we got in the chat, is Ingenuity Gap Kyle?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Kyle was suggesting the Caterpillar destroyers, 2 large blasts with no gets hot.
Yeah, I
which
mean,
is pretty sick.
We don't. Yeah, we're kind of getting tunnel vision on Imperial armies here, who are not the benefactors or the biggest benefit, receiving the biggest benefit. Are there any other ways I can say that word weirdly in this time?
Benefit?
Benefit.
You could say being fit,
Benefit. Either way.
like B-E-N-E, like bean. Sorry, what were you saying?
I don't remember now. Either way, that's a cool new thing. I'm sure somebody will find some way to break it. I'm just not smart enough to do that. I'll wait till they do and then rip it off.
Yeah.
Which is my way.
Yeah, I'll just make one from scratch. I'll make it like with cardboard toilet paper tubes, and everyone will be like, "Damn, that looks like crap." And then I'll just kind of, you know, go to the car and get sad, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna build a whole army out of macaroni.
That's not a bad idea.
Call the Macarorks.
Okay.
Yeah, hey.
You know what? You're just really sucking it right now.
Hey,
Anyways,
we're having fun.
so why don't we take a quick break?
We're
We'll
gonna
come
take a little
back. We'll do the top 10, and then we'll talk about the tournament coming up in Brandon that unfortunately our guests were not able to be here to discuss with us, but we're still going to talk about the event. They have some special rules that are worth hearing about because they do affect the lists that players are going to be making. and just sort of get an overall gist for what the day's about.
Yeah, I'm gonna be super cryptic about what I'm bringing, and then just talk about ways to exploit the weaknesses in Dan's army.
And I'm going to do this.
So we'll be right back, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Remember to log in.
Yes, that's right. We're giving away a
Subscribe.
prize at the end of the show. We've got another tentacle maker from... Who's that from again, Scott?
Green Stuff Industries.
Green Stuff Industries.
We've actually got 2 of them if we can hit 40.
That's correct. So if you know friends that you want to bring to the chat, definitely a good plan. You do have to be logged in. Guests can't win anything because we don't know who you are. So it's not just a shameless plug to make a Twitch account. We legitimately won't know who you are.
I'll show my nipples for 50.
Wow. All right, we'll be right back.
the music you get in the break.
Yeah, that's right.
The staccato, Damn, it's that time again. It's that time again.
Right.
That time of the
That's
week.
right.
That time
every
of
week.
the
We
month,
do every
that time of the
week.
month, that time of the
Except
year.
that time we had a tournament. We couldn't do a show.
Guess what?
But guess what? It's time for the top 10.
This time
So
of
if you're sitting down, stand up. If you're standing up, sit down. If you're in a pool, stay in it.
Flip the script.
It's time for the top 10.
You bunch
Top
of cowards.
10.
Bunch of
All right,
cowards.
this week's
All
top
right,
10
this week's
is
top 10
is the top 10 reasons why it would suck to be a
on an
janitor
Imperial
on an
Cruiser.
Imperial
Now,
Cruiser.
this is a
Now,
bit of a
this is
hint
a bit of a hint
at next week's guest.
we have a special guest that's going to be visiting us
Are you
during
a
the show.
sleuth? Are you a sleuth? Are you a sleuth?
That's
You?
right.
And
That's
actually,
right.
and actually,
I believe, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say it on camera, but next week's show will not be a live show.
You can still view it on
but you
Twitch.
can still view it on
Is that
Twitch.
correct?
That's correct.
Is that correct?
That's
Same time?
correct. At the same
time?
Maybe.
All
Maybe.
right.
All right.
Let's get.
So let's
Find out
go
next
without
find
further
out
ado,
next week, and if you get something,
Let's find out. Let's find out the top 10 reasons. Oh, it looks like we got an echo and a delay.
Salt.
Beautiful.
Problem
Solved.
solved.
Problem is solved. Now let's do the top 10. All right. So top 10 reasons why it would suck to be a janitor on an Imperial Cruiser. Rory, let's hit us with the first one.
The sheer size of the ship would mean as soon as you and your crew finish cleaning, you'd have to start again. Oh, Dan, these are just great. I'm glad you wrote all these by yourself.
Actually, you know, it's funny. I wrote 2 of them. Like 2 full top 10 lists. Anyways, number 9. After an enemy boarding party is defeated, your job is to clean up several metric tons of blood, sometimes old blood.
Oh, Dan,
That
old
sucks.
blood.
Yeah.
Turns a different shade of blood.
It smells bad too, man.
Mmm.
Gets dry too. You'd have to like scrub that shit out.
Oh.
Number 8.
Space Marines have no respect for you.
And why would they?
You're a pathetic little man with a stupid broom.
Exactly. Think about it. You're in the 41st millennium on a ship larger than, you know, anything that you could have fathomed as a child, and you're the guy cleaning up.
If a Space Marine puked and you put sawdust on it, you would worship that
If
sawdust.
he told you to eat the puke, you'd probably have to eat it.
You'd ask for more. You'd say, "Give me more, sir."
We're talking about a guy that could crush your skull with his hand.
Number 7.
After a battle, you have to hose down sweaty Space Marine armor suits.
Now, I don't know if you ever smelled a hockey bag.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume this is worse.
I'm going to assume this is like way worse. Considering also like the amount of years that they've been alive for and the amount of battles that armor's probably seen.
You ever smell the old dude?
Yeah.
You ever smell the old dude? And he's got, I mean, I'm gonna assume Space Marines have at least 8 times the sweat glands of a normal man.
Probably. I mean, probably.
I'm not a scientist, neither is Dan.
6.
Sure, you get paid, but you never get laid.
And that, my friends, is like probably the loneliest fact about being a janitor on an Imperial Cruiser. You're floating through space on a ship filled with men. And, you know, I'm assuming that it's only that way because men came up with this lore. But it's filled with men. And you're going to be on your own. And you probably got the worst check on the ship. So like we said, sure you get paid. You never get
Let's
paid.
just say if you call ground control, you're probably only going to get a hold of Major Tom.
And what happens if you're, you know, in a back broom closet or something, just trying to get one out, and a Space Marine
All
walks
right,
in?
number 5.
You're going to be so embarrassed.
The metal corridors would echo constantly, reminding you of your fading sanity.
That's right.
Now, let's remind that everyone on an Imperial Cruiser is never to look out the window, as it will instantly cause you to turn into a gibbering monster that eats all your friends.
Also, keep in mind, you're going to be on that thing for a number of years. It's not like the Imperial Cruiser goes out for maneuvers and then shows up, you know, a month later. You're on there for years. Years. Maybe a lifetime.
I want to double back. There's nothing wrong with just Major Tom answering. I don't know why I said it like that.
Okay.
All right, number 4.
Your supervisor treats you like a grot. And this is just sort of like an overall one. We've basically been alluding to it. Number 3.
Guardsmen will share their cigarettes with you, but they still won't let you hang out with them.
That's correct. Now, sure you're on a ship full of Space Marines, sometimes guardsmen are going to drop by, you know? Like when you have a battle that you're going to fight, you're always going to throw some sort of meat screen out front, right? And may as well be guardsmen. So where do they show up before the battle? On your cruiser. If you need a smoke, you could probably get one. Are they going to talk about, you know, their lives with you? No.
You're gonna be like a bit character on MASH.
They're going to say, you're a coward because you're not coming to the fight. And you're just going to say, well, you're going to die anyway.
Yeah, you'll be dead tomorrow. Shut up.
So you live forever, but you're a loser. Number two.
Number two.
Your parents constantly remind you about that time you won a rifle competition at 12 years old and could have joined the Rattlings. You could have been a sniper.
You could have been somebody,
You could have been a contender.
Jeremy, you're a loser.
Jeremy,
And number one,
you still working on that job on the ship?
the only women you will ever meet are usually aliens, and they're going to penetrate you. We went. You went the. I don't know. I'm gonna say we. I didn't write these.
Long and
There's
short.
nothing wrong with being penetrated. First of all, there's nothing wrong with aliens.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So that was the top 10. Thank you everyone for joining us for the top 10.
We are neutral.
Yeah.
We have no stance on anything.
So now, because we're getting near the bottom of the show, we should really start talking about the event in Brandon that's coming up on Saturday.
Shoot some facts out, Dan. Who is responsible for hosting said event?
Okay, so it's Jason Wells and Homer Sayer of I Want That Stuff in Brandon, and the tournament is called the Warhammer Amateur Tournament, or what?
The what?
If you are a fan of the joy of painting.
The what tournament?
That's correct. And the tournament is a 1,500 point tournament. It's the
Old
fourth
school.
time that they've done this. The event, like it says in the name, is for amateurs. So the idea is that it's supposed to be approachable. You know, Rory and I are coming down with lists that we feel are strong, but they're not an internet list. You know, it's not like we're going to try and come down there and...
I don't
some
want to
kind of
lose
weird
to
point.
everybody, but I'm willing to lose to some people.
Yeah, and to be honest, my track record in local tournaments is pretty poor.
Yeah, we
so-
might just lose to everybody. I mean, let's be honest, we're there to shake hands and kiss babies, right?
Yeah, basically.
Also, not an ITC event.
Yeah.
These
right.
are classic, unmanipulated rules. So you got full D tables. You got, I don't know.
Yeah,
Everything
no,
is as it
The
was.
rules are a little bit different. Like Rory, you are right. There are a couple things though that are included there. So there's no Lords of War, and every list has to have at least one CAD
Why are there no Lords of War, Dan?
because most new players aren't fully going to be able to deal with a Lord of War. You know what I mean? Like,
let's be honest. In the first few months, you're not sinking like
when I first
180
played, all I
bucks.
really had was Rhinos and Infantry, and if someone had an Imperial Knight and I was sitting there with 4 tactical squads, it would be over in a matter of turns.
It makes me think that maybe I should just play an entire 1,500 points of Khorne Berserkers and Karn and just see how it goes.
Do the formation. Actually, that would be pretty freaking awesome.
I would still have to paint like 5 Khorne Berserkers. I could probably do that.
With an airbrush, you could easily do that. And then put
Yeah.
some gold on it.
Oh, that's all the detail. And either way,
Actually.
I should just do the most noobed out list that I possibly can to somebody who's like, I like this.
No, I mean, you guys had... I got something to prove. I went 0-3 at Twin Eagles. So you and Sid did fairly well.
Well, whatever. You were 11. 11 played is not bad.
I'm definitely playing a different army, though. So,
Yeah, no, have fun with it. I mean, you should.
another interesting fact, this is the first time the entire event is sold out, so it's actually going to be a really good turnout. It's going to be... is it 20 players, Scott? I thought I heard 20. Okay.
We're not sure
Scott
on
said he's
the
not sure.
full numbers.
I'm going to say 100. And it's going to take a lot of tables and a lot of space, but they got the square footage.
Also, the entry fee is interesting.
Okay.
Super interesting. It's $10 as long as you build and donate a piece of terrain.
Oh, right, yes.
So they're trying to,
build up
you know,
inventory.
which is great, man. That means that you got a local shop in Brandon. I totally 100% am down for that. That's a wicked way to get people out and, you know.
And you know what? Call me ignorant. Like, I know Brandon is...
You're ignorant.
Wait, first. Brandon is a relatively large city. You know, like it's the second biggest city in Winnipeg. But as someone who's spent their entire life in Winnipeg, you think, oh man, if I had to move to Brandon, would I still be able to play 40K? The nice thing is obviously there's a fairly vibrant scene there. You know, coming out of the lunch shop, I think that's awesome.
That's
and
great,
kudos
man.
to Homer and Jason for keeping it going like that. Like, it takes a lot of organization and a lot of time to build a community like that. So kudos to you, gentlemen. Sorry we couldn't have you on the Skype interview.
It's like when you and I were doing that Arctic research in Antarctica, and we had no one to play with but penguins.
That's right. And then I found a seal that reminded me of a dog that I had as a kid. He kept biting my hand, and so eventually we had to put the seal outside. Long story short, we didn't have the proper food to give him, and he died.
Yeah, I called him Giuseppe, and I wept.
I wasn't just going to put him back in the water.
I wept for days.
What
What
like
else?
giving your childhood dog away to a killer whale?
Essentially, it's a
If someone's going to kill that dog, it's me by starvation.
where no one's killing any dogs. No one. We're not that kind of show. So
Well,
essentially,
Rory has 2 dogs, so
I would never.
You know,
Oh,
you should check in each week to see if they're alive.
don't you talk about my children?
Rory's going to kill them.
So-
It's so mad.
Oh, okay. Essentially, it's a non-competitive event tailored to getting new players into the tournament scene, helping a new shop or
Oh,
newer shop build
Fully
up.
licensed venue with restaurant. That's pretty killer. 4 games starting at 9 in the morning.
4. That's a big day gaming though, especially with us having a 2-hour drive. So anybody who sees us there know that we committed a lot, and I'm going to be some drunk.
Yeah,
in a
and you know
super
what?
happy way.
I made a post on Reddit on the 40K channel before, so I'm not sure, or 40K subreddit rather, I'm not sure if anyone's actually joining us from there. I couldn't find the post after I'd made it. I didn't know if it got approved or not. But if you did, and it did get approved, thank you for joining us. We're definitely happy to see some new names in the chat.
Yeah, very much so. And a
so-
little bit of housekeeping. We do give away prizes from time to time. If you would like to be entered,
like
there's a
tonight,
chance.
that would be a prize.
Yeah, we got some tentacle makers from Green Stuff World.
Well, we have one,
One.
tentacle maker from Green Stuff Industries. The chat unfortunately didn't get up to 40.
Right.
So we're
And,
only going to be
we're-
giving away one.
We're going to go ahead and, because we're a Canadian podcast, blame that on there being hockey on tonight,
Yes.
which I don't care how big we get, we're not going to be able to compete with the NHL in this country.
So it looks like our winner of the Green Stuff Industries tentacle maker is Keck Mama. I believe that's Marin. Marin.
Marin.
Congratulations,
The
Marin.
All-American cigarette roller.
You won
enjoy it.
yourself it. It's a fantastic prize, and believe you me, the ladies love it.
Big shout out to Green Stuff Industries.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you very much
sponsoring
for,
the Twin Eagles tournament and this podcast.
There they are, right in there,
Yeah.
with the tentacles that you yourself, Marin.
They are
gonna
right
be able to-
over.
You know what you're doing. I want you
There.
to stop. I want you to stop right now.
Deep, deep,
While we're on that
deep,
kick, a
deep,
special
deep.
thanks to all of our sponsors. Wicked help that they've been in, I don't know, helping us give stuff away. And
Thanks to our sponsors for I don't know. No, thank you for helping us with prize pools, for giving us an opportunity for some credibility in this community, and taking a chance on the show. So thanks a lot for that. Also on the tournament, Twin Eagles tournament wrapped up. I mean, we talked about it probably for 3 or 4 episodes straight because it's a big deal, frankly, every year, and the prizes were awesome as usual. So thank you very much. Also, I think we should give a quick shout out to maybe someone who played a big role in the show coming to fruition that we haven't really given credibility to, and that's God.
the Emperor.
Yeah. So
Emperor of mankind, beloved by all.
he fills me with spirit.
He raised me up and made me a superhuman.
Warhammer.
But,
God loves war.
anything else, Dan? Can you remember anything else we want to talk about this week? Looking forward to Magnus. If you're not already building Thousand Suns, get out there and buy them. Fuel the Warhammer economy that is us. You like old Space Wolves?
We were going to talk a little bit about Rory doing non-metallic metal painting. We were going to do it last week too, but we forgot. I think since we don't have the photos ready to go, maybe we should just do it next week instead of trying to...
Instead of just cramming it into the last
Yeah.
30 seconds of this show and doing it no justice at all and
Yeah.
having no pictures, we went the entire episode without you ruining and derailing the entire thing, and I am so sick and tired of having you at every moment attempting to sabotage what could be a great thing. And you should be ashamed of yourself with your stupid necklace and your dumb curly hair. Honestly, who dresses you? Look at you.
Well, it's really obvious and sad, unfortunately, that Rory's Tourette's has come back. We thought we had it under control. He'd been taking medication for a couple of weeks there, but
I
I guess we're probably going to have to get him back to his GP. So.
stuff him in my cheeks and I spit him under the sink. Nobody knows.
Oh man! All right. Well, on that note, perhaps we should wrap things up. I know we didn't quite make it to a full hour because we started a little bit late, but I think the show has found its natural close. So on that note,
If you're not having fun,
you
You're
are
cheating.
cheating.
look it up.
You're cheating. Wait, if you're not having at the same time.
If you're
if you're
not
not
having, hold on.
If,
If you're
you're
not
not
having fun, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, do it backwards. Maybe start from the.
okay, so
You're
fun
cheating.
not if you're happy.
If you're not
Not
having
having
fun,
fun,
you're
you're
cheating.
cheating.